All right. Well, hello, everybody. Welcome to day 5 as we celebrate Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Now, we have a lot to celebrate today because today is Cinco de Mayo as well. And it's also Teacher Appreciation Day. And so we're just going to celebrate. There's like a good reason to celebrate, any reason to celebrate. So today we are celebrating with my sister, Joy Jensen. Hi, Joy.
Hi, Priscilla.
Thank you so much for taking a few minutes out of your very busy day to celebrate. I wanted to spotlight you and all the amazing work that you're doing. So before we get into our conversation, I'm going to share a little bit of your bio. So Joy, you have been an employee of Denver Public Schools for the last 19 years and mostly working with our teen girls, and for the last few years working with our youth in high school to help them transition through high school and give them a successful start with whatever they decide to do, whether it be college or career. You were born in Seoul, Korea, but you were adopted as a baby and came to the United States and was raised in, I think you said Minnesota.
Yeah.
And eventually made your way to Denver, went to college in Colorado after Iowa, right? Iowa,
Yes.
then
Good memory. Yeah.
Okay, and you also went to CU Denver, so you're a Lynx, go Lynx. And you're a mom and you have an 8-year-old son and you love everything outdoors, skiing, running, playing ping pong, which
Yes.
we have an agreement about ping pong because I was intramural champion ping pong growing up.
Oh,
And
wow.
so, yeah, it's on. It's
You
on.
better get over here when we're allowed.
So you're a social worker, and I find that really amazing. The work that you do and what you're dedicating your life to is working with our youth. And so share a little bit more about what your day looks like and how you're helping our young people in Denver Public Schools.
Well, on a normal day, you know what? Every day looks different when I'm at the school. But the one thing that you will always see is that my office, there is usually someone in there. So I see a lot of kids individually for a variety of reasons. Some of them might be working on improving their behavior. Some of them might be dealing with depression, anxiety, so any social emotional issues. They will come in and to chat with me. So working on developing coping skills, managing your emotions, trying to be able to, all the things that get in the way of you performing academically that makes learning difficult. So
Sure. And I can imagine on a normal day how busy you are, but now that we are in remote learning and our students with the highest needs who rely on the adults in their lives are being separated. And so I know that you mentioned you're on the Zoom calls all day long and talking with students and continuing to service our students. How's that been for you?
It's been good. Actually, personally, for me, it's been rewarding to be able to have that connection with the students. I think they appreciate it. And it's a little bit of structure to my day to be able to get to meet with them and talk with them. Yeah, of course, it's different than being at the school. But I think maintaining those connections and just they still need support and encouragement. And I think right now, staying motivated to focus on your academics is really difficult. I think we talked about that with your students. And so I have been trying to I do some small social emotional groups at school, and I've been trying to do them online. It's called Learning to Breathe. It's a curriculum on mindfulness. And so I have 6 or 7 students that will get on with me and we'll still try to do the group. And then we have a leadership group called Sources of Strength, and it's a suicide prevention, but we try to, when we're at school, we try to do things to improve our school community and make it welcoming. And so we've still been meeting with those groups. And then individually, there's other counselors at the school, and we split the school up and we call all the students every week, and we do our best to just try to keep in touch with them and, support them best we can.
I tell you, our social workers in our school, we love them. The work you do, you do a lot of the heavy lifting. So first of all, thank you so much for carrying that deep, deep weight, because you hear these stories that a lot of them are private and personal stories of these young people, and they trust you. And the fact that you're there to give them these skills, because they're young adults, they're becoming independent, and they need these skills after they transition from the protection of their home to maybe college or to be out on their own. Those skills are really, really important. So I'm curious, what got you started? Like, why was this the path that you chose?
All right. Well, I'll try not to be too long. I'll try to give you the short version. But so I think I told you I grew up in this small little town in Minnesota. My mom's Dutch, and I think pretty much everyone there was Dutch. And my dad's Norwegian. He was from a town close by, and I grew up in a very conservative Christian area, and I ended up going to a small Christian liberal arts college. And at the time, I was not that I'm not as much anymore, but I was really into God, and I wanted to live a life that fit with my values at the time. And I thought that social work was like the best thing to fit with being like Jesus. So I thought at the time I was going to do that, and I didn't really know where it was going to lead. But also being adopted, I thought every child should have the opportunity to have a healthy family. And then I worked in adoptions for a couple years after college, and then I went to grad school at DU for social work, and then I found DPS and found school social work, and felt like I could have a more preventative role than being like a caseworker for the county or something. And so I guess I just got interested in it then, because I felt like I could make a bigger difference there.
I think that experience makes you so much more effective as a social worker, because the things that you feel deeply and your own journey and your experiences, I think I see they help you connect with your students. Because we've talked several times like about this. I grew up with a Korean mom, lived in Korea, speak Korean, eat Korean, the culture is Korean. And then when you and I met, I had at least had some experience with heritage camps, which is amazing, where they work with Korean adoptees. And it was through that experience that I actually learned more about the experience of being an adoptee, and that there's no right way to be Asian. There are no rules. I mean, are you Asian enough or whatever? Like all of these things that go through a person's mind, whether you're adopted or whether you're like me, I mean, so you find yourself in situations where you sometimes question and you're figuring out yourself and your identity. Such a normal thing for young people to go through this journey. And so if you were to talk to an adoptee, we have so many students in Denver Public Schools who are adopted. Like, what would you say to them to help them during their journey?
I think be proud of who you are in your journey. Because like you said, Priscilla, everyone's journey is different. And I think I mentioned this to you, that growing up in a small little town, I just wanted to blend in, and I really didn't want to be noticed. Like, I didn't want to be different. And I think as an adult, it's cool to me to connect with people that look like me, even though we may still not be alike. But it's nice to have some pride in who you are. And I think all Asian kids should have pride in whoever they are and where they come from.
I agree. I mean, we found a connection that I think we're going to be sisters for a lifetime, because we're in education, we love ping pong, we love food, like what else? I mean, and I think that your voice really matters, and that's the purpose of why we even have the Denver Public Schools Asian Education Advisory Council, is to educate and support people who have a common heritage, We have a similar heritage originally, but we also actually do share a similar culture. It's the American culture. Um, and so, there is no right or wrong way. You are enough, because you're cool. And really, that's what matters. And do you listen to K-pop ever? Have you gotten into that
I
yet?
have not. I will though.
Maybe when we're playing ping pong,
That's
we can
right.
listen to some K-pop and just kind of have a little fun, right?
I like it.
So you love all things outdoors, but obviously we're a little bit limited on some of our normal activities. So during this time, is there something that's bringing you joy? What's putting a smile on your face?
It goes day to day. I definitely have my own ups and downs, but one thing, I think it was just a couple days ago, my son and I took a bike ride just up to the street to Bible Park, and we stopped to take a little break, and he found this stick, and he was just in heaven. Like, he's like, we're fishing. And I just, for the moment, it was like, you know what? I don't get to do this every day. So I'm really enjoying being able to spend time with my son. And my mom moved in, and we are in the honeymoon phase. We're all getting along. My husband loves her. We're all, so I mean, I really am enjoying family time.
Well, Joy, you are a joy. And I love every time I get to talk to you because it's just so much fun and you just exude so much happiness and love and caring. And we're so fortunate and blessed and lucky and all of those things that we are in the same ecosystem and that we get to share this journey together as educators and supporting our young people. So thanks for your time. I know you have another call with a student, and so I'm going to let you go, but I'll give you the last words. How's that?
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for having me. And I'm so excited to be part of the group that you're leading. And yeah, thank you for sharing yourself with me.
You bet. Anytime. Okay. We're gonna make a ping pong date. Okay.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye.
Bye.